Daylight, all the time. And on sunny days, you almost felt like you were sitting outside, it was that bright.
That surprised you, Grace?
It was a factory. I thought it'd be dark and dirty.
Then why go to work there?
I was 15. It was time I made my own way.
Pay your own way. What about school?
Oh, I didn't miss it so much. The girls were all so nice, and the work wasn't hard. It wasn't like factory work, really. It was more like art painting those dials. We were artists.
I'm not really the one you should be talking to. Fonz is shocking. He's the one you should talk to.
Now, Arthur, you know he won't talk to us.
It was his process.
Tell me about that process, Arthur. You used the powder.
We used the powder. The girls mixed it with an adhesive to make the paint. And that business with the brushes, I didn't invent that. They were doing that when I started there.
But you knew about it.
We all knew about it. We just didn't know what it meant.
Irene?
In here.
Irene!
What are you doing?
Shut the door. Amalia's working inspection today.
Is that bad?
Not for us. She's gonna be sitting in this room all day, by herself, in the dark, checking dials. Poor thing. Poor thing. So we're gonna give her a little surprise. Boom, like the Cheshire Cat.
Wait, won't that make her mad?
Let her get mad. That's half the fun.
I don't want to make her mad.
Oh, Grace, do you have to be that way about everything?
What way?
Your teeth, Grace. Put some on your teeth.
And it's like Amalia don't deserve it. She paints more dials than any girl on the floor. And can't be bothered to talk to nobody. You say, hey Amalia, what's new? She just looks at you funny.
I don't think she speaks much English.
Wouldn't kill her to smile, would it?
She's coming. Get polite.
This is where the girls paint, but the dials.
What a fine young lady you have here. If I can say so myself.
Mrs. McNeil, paint in your faces! Have you gone off your minds? It was just a joke.
Just a joke? A joke like that can lose a girl her job.
No, Miss Meal. I'm sure that's not necessary.
I don't tolerate no foolishness, Doctor.
Yeah, very good. Foolishness we don't want, do we? Mr. Reader, this is the inspection room. All the dials that are painted come here for inspection. And here are some girls that should be on the floor working. Perhaps you have some words for these ladies.
I was actually just telling Mr. Reader what a fine group of young ladies we have here. You must think I'm halfway out of my mind.
Do you have any words for the ladies?
I guess so.
Miss McNeil, shall
Well, girls, this paint you've been playing with, it's very expensive. You realize this?
Yes, sir.
It takes several tons of ore to produce a single gram of radium. It's a lot of work, hard work for the men in the extraction plant. But they do this work gladly. Do you know why? Why they work so hard? What we are all working for.
The war.
That's right, the war. The dials are paint save lives, girls. Our boys out in the field depend on them. To read them in the dark, no mistaking what they see. Otherwise, some of those boys won't be coming home. So, girls, if you play around and don't take the work seriously, well, you're playing into the hands of the Kaiser. And we do not want that, do we?
No, sir. We
So
would
let's
never.
get back to work and leave the tomfoolery to home.
Mr. Reader, I just wanted to say I am sorry. I won't do nothing like this ever again.
Well, dear, just keep this in mind. If you do right by us, we'll do right by you.
May 17th, 1921. Nancy Jane Harlan for the New York Graphic. The New York Graphic's only girl reporter.
Jackie Youngwood for the Ledger. New York's first source for news.
Madame Marie Curie, eminent French scientist, embarks on a whistle-stop tour of the United States.
First stop, New York City, where she's greeted by an enthusiastic crowd of well-wishers.
The High Priestess of Science is headed for Washington to receive a gift of 1 gram of radium valued at $100,000.
Purchased for her by members of the Marie Carry Radium Club, an association of 100,000 American women who each gave $1 to support a humanitarian research with radium.
Great. Over here.
Every look, I got my certificate. Remember Marie Curie Radium Club?
You gave $1
It's all for science.
for science. What about my bulletin board?
There she is!
Welcome all, welcome all. I must ask you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, please limit your questions. Madame Curie is about to embark on an exhaustive tour of the country and is under strict doctor's orders to rest. Although, in the typical fashion of a scientist who think only of her research, her life's work, she has refused to rest.
Madam Curie, what will you do with the radium? What will you do with the radium?
I will continue my experiments to find better methods for the treatment of the cancer.
Is radium a cure for all cancer?
Cure for the cancer? Yes, cure for the cancer. That is so. It has already cured all kinds of the cancer.
But some doctors dispute that.
Then they do not understand the method. Then, no question, radium will cure the cancer.
Madam Curie, how have you managed to devote yourself to both science and your children?
It has not been easy. But my daughters share my gratitude to the American women and their interest in science and my work. I am most grateful.
Madam Curie.
More questions. Madam Curie is on a tight schedule. Mrs. Andrew Carnegie has sent a car and will escort Dr. Curie personally, as will I, to Washington, where President Harding will present the gift of 1 gram of radium.
See that, Charlie? That is a marketing opportunity. Let's send her one of our customers' watches, courtesy of the United States Radium Corporation.
We'll need a press release.
Radium isn't just for scientists to study. The average American can share in its glory every night. Luminous watches, luminous clocks. Anyone who thinks these are just novelties, consider all the other advances that have taken place in the past 50 years. The electric light, the telegraph,
The telephone.
the automobile. Inventions all once dismissed as novelties, as toys.
Are now essentials to modern life. Got it. I ought to sell some watches.
Watches, absolutely, but that's not where the growth is now, Charlie. You heard the label, it's the medical market.
And Standard Chemical owns it.
Only because Vaughn's a shock he lets them take it. But if we wanted to, we could get half their business. It's really just a matter of positioning.
Standard Chemical publishes their own journal. Sends it out monthly for 12,000 doctors. We could do something similar.
Something scholarly that the doctors would respect.
A bibliography listing every article ever written on radium.
But with capsule reports to save the doctor's time. They'd get the information, find it fast.
And have us to thank for it.
We'll send it to every doctor in the U.S. Radium Society.
Every doctor in the American Medical Association.
That's the spirit, Charlie. Advertising. That's the way for the future. It's not just the product. It's the way you promote it.
You should have seen it, Grace. The church was filled with flowers. Lilies and carnations and orchids. You know how Amalia loved orchids.
Those weren't orchids.
They were orchids, Irene.
Flags.
Orchids. I know an orchid when I see one. Purple orchids. Oh, and that smell, Grace, that smell. What was that smell? It was like
Flowers?
no. It was like heaven. I was gonna say it was like heaven.
Like heaven, Catherine. It was just a funeral. You make it out like it was some Valentino picture.
It wasn't just a funeral. It was Amalia's, and it was beautiful. You should have seen it. The church was like the botanical gardens, and a company sent a big spray of flowers too. Carnations.
Nuns.
Yellow carnations.
Those were mine.
Well, it sounds like a nice service anyhow.
Girls, the whistle's already gone. Now then, I received new instructions this day. We're going back to the old way of pointing brushes. This isn't too much paint in the cloth. Skull passing down. Attitude. I know you may not like it, but this is how we do business. And if you want a paycheck when you go home, you listen to me. Grace.
But
Yes, Grace? Something you wish to say?
Dr. Von Sashaki told me not to do that. He said it's unsanitary.
Unsanitary? I could hardly believe he'd say such a thing. We've done this as long as I've been here. You must have misunderstood him.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are not to get new brushes until you've done with the old. And they've got to be so bad that you can't get a point no more.
You can't make quota like that.
Well, you'll do your best. I have my instructions. I need a new brush. It's not for us to be asking questions, is it? It's for us to do the work.
I have my instructions, girls. I have my instructions.
Here's an instruction for you, McNeil. Let some of the starch out of your corset.
Was she at the service?
McNeil, are you kidding? You think he'd cross the street for our mother?
Most everybody else was no. You was about the only girl from the floor who wasn't there.
I wanted to go, but Mom was working and I had to watch the little ones.
You could have brought them.
All 7?
Well, if it was me, I'd have tried to get there.
Catherine, lay off. Grace feels as bad as it is.
Were many of the fellows there?
Oh yeah, lots of fellows from downstairs. Mr. Roth from the front office, Dr. Von Sashaki was there, and Mr. Reader.
And he left early.
So, he was there all the same. Oh, and Grace, you know that fellow from Crystallizing? What's his name? The one with the red hair. He was there. You know who I mean?
Oh, the tall fellow with the freckles.
That's the one, who snaps his fingers all the time.
George!
Jerry.
I think it is George.
It's Jerry. Jerry Mallon. He was the one who was always talking to Amalia in the day room.
That's right. Oh, Grace, when the mass was over, he goes over to the coffin, and he goes like this. Like this he goes.
No.
Yes!
Really? Really? Oh, for pity's sake.
Well, he did. Nobody could believe it.
So what if he did?
So what? He was in love with her. That's so what. Don't you think so, Grace?
I guess he had to be if he did that.
And can you imagine? Can you imagine if he loved her and he didn't tell her, never could bring himself to say, because she was so beautiful and he was so shy. And now it's too late. It's too late. The love is forever thwarted. He didn't tell her, and he'll never get a chance to ever again.
Or Amalia.
Poor Amalia.
Poor kid.
Her family took it awful bad, Grace. Albina, Quinta, everybody. Every one of them crying. Even her father crying so bad. I never saw a man cry before, and not like that. Just bawling like a baby.
And you know why, too.
Because their daughter had died.
What she died from.
Irene, don't go spreading stories.
It's not a story. Albina told us. No reason Grace shouldn't know.
Know what? Know what? Amalia?
Ain't it awful? Albina said her father's fit to be tied, too. 6 girls at home, and ain't none of them ever going to a dance again.
All because Amalia up and died from syphilis.
What?
I can't help it if that's what she died from.
You don't know that for sure.
It was on the death certificate.
Anemia and complications from syphilis.
But Amalia was ever so nice.
Guess she got around more than we knew.
Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe the doctor got it wrong.
Oh, come on.
Doctors are wrong sometimes.
That is true. Doctor was wrong about Aunt Ivy.
What's Mama got to do about this?
Irene, don't you remember? Up to the day she died, doctor said Aunt Ivy would be fine. Said take a cup of tea, get a good night's rest. And 2 days later, he was taking her to the Rosedale Cemetery.
Girls, your attention, please. The gentlemen are here to make an announcement.
Thank you, Miss McNeil. Girls, we are here to put a few rumors to rest.
And to explain some changes, yeah?
Yes. As some of you may have heard by now, Dr. Von Sashaki is stepping down, and he would like to take this opportunity
To make with goodbye, Miss Reader has kindly consented. Some of you have known since you were little girls, coming during the war, working so hard. Day after day at the bench, 200, 300, some of you 500 hours a day. So excited to be part of the work here. When this company I start, mixing up the paint in my own kitchen, I know I found something miraculous to make life better, easier. And now with Irene, more and more uses are there for the rating. More than I dreamed possible.
Thank you so much, Doctor. That was so beautiful. Look, you made me tear up. Oh my gosh.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Now, girls, the doctor's a busy man and must be on his way. So, let's wish him the best of luck in his new business ventures. Very good, then. Girls?
And Mr. Reader, let us good luck wish to you also. To the plate he steps as your new company president. Our congratulations to you.
Thank you, Doctor.
When Mr. Reader came to us 4 years ago, I saw in him a young man of great enterprise
Thank you, Doctor.
and great ambition.
Yes, thank you.
Little did I guess the direction his ambition would take. But one thing that makes this country great is the opportunity it presents to a young man and his friends.
And so,
And
girls,
so, ladies, let us wish him the very best in the new direction he intends the company to take.
New direction.
And the slowdown in dial painting. And moving into the medical market. There's going to be a lot of changes. Yeah?
what the doctor is referring to, some of our larger customers will be setting up their own dial painting studios.
Which means less work for the girls here.
In the short run, things may be slower here. However, the Waterbury Clock Company in Connecticut will need help setting up its new studio. We were intending to make an announcement next week. We'll make it now. Mrs. McNeil?
Well, we'll be asking some of you girls to go on up there.
The work is supervisory in nature, which means more pay. You have some girls in mind?
Louise Conlon was one, Sarah Deutsch, Lena McCarthy, and Catherine Shaw. The entire list upstairs, I'll post it today.
Fine. There you have it, girls. As we are all on the clock, we'll leave you to your work.
Thank you, ladies, and I wish the very best to you.
Let's back to work with you girls.
Are you gonna do it, Catherine? Are you gonna take that job?
Would you, Grace? Would you go to Connecticut?
Oh, I don't know. That sounds so far from home. Tell me what happened today.
Oh, come on. I think it'd be fun. Wouldn't it be fun, Irene?
Irene? Irene, honey, are you alright?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I be?
Your mouth is bleeding.
Come on.
More to life than money.
That's what you say when you're young, Tom. But you raised between my age and how small your kids are for you're like doctor at age 5.
We got money to buy.
How much?
Enough to get married on.
Don't take much to get married on. Gonna stay married on?
You let us get married. We'll find out.
Are you still eating, Tommy?
It's good.
You're gonna get fat.
Jonathan looks straight. He works hard for his money.
Don't start, Ma.
I didn't say nothing. It was your father who threw a roof over it.
He didn't hit the roof.
You should have seen the man's face, Tom. We found out that Grace wasn't working no more. Most girls would give their eye teeth for a job like that. Good money, easy working, and nice looking fellas around the planet.
You didn't tell me about them, Grace.
Wasn't that many of them. Hardly seem worth the mention.
And she gives it all up for reasons unknown. I'm tired of it up there, she says. Are you tired of your paycheck? I says. Who needs a paycheck, she says. I got a boyfriend to take me out on Saturdays.
She said that?
You know I didn't. And for your information, I got a job. I start at the bank on Monday.
Oh, the bank. And how much does it pay?
Enough.
Enough. Always enough. You know what that means, Tom? It doesn't pay as much as it did up at the radio place.
It's office work.
Office work. I guess that means you can spend more money on clothes then.
Boy, she is really steamed at you.
I don't see what difference it makes so long as I'm working somewhere.
Don't make no difference to me. I just thought you liked it up there.
Sure, I liked it. I worked there 4 years.
So, I've been delivering mail almost 8 years. I plan to keep on delivering mail another 20 or 30 years. If I'm lucky. Nothing like steady work and a good pension to help you sleep at night.
I don't have a pension and I sleep just fine.
I bet you do. So how come you quit, Grace?
Lots of girls are quitting. Work is slow. Besides, since Irene left, it's just not as much fun. And wouldn't you rather have a girlfriend who works in a bank?
Not as much as I'd like to have a wife who don't work anywhere.
Close your eyes. I got a surprise for you.
Yeah? One for me to pull the shades?
Not that kind of surprise. Close your eyes. Now look,
Wallpaper.
for the baby's room.
Baby's room. You won't kiss me and now you're talking about babies?
There's gonna be babies eventually, Tommy.
Well, sure. But you know, Grace, most girls, they get married before they decorate the nursery.
Plan ahead for once. Pick one.
They're both the same.
No, they're not. This one has big flowers and this one has little flowers, so pick one.
Is this some kind of test?
It's just wallpaper.
It is some kind of test.
Pick one, Tommy.
That one.
Really?
The other one, then.
Which do you like, though?
They're both nice.
This one is pretty, don't you think?
That one, then.
But I want you to like it too.
If you like it, I'll like it. Wallpaper is wallpaper.
No, it's not. You gotta pick something you can stand to look at for 20 years.
Same way you pick women.
Keep it up, smarty pants. You won't ever get that kiss.
Alright. This one, hands down.
I like it too. A nice yellow goes with either a boy or a girl. And until the baby comes, you can use it for other things.
Yeah? Like what?
Like a painting studio, maybe?
A painting studio, maybe. Didn't you get enough painting at work?
Not the kind I wanted to do, Tommy. I used to do watercolors in school. And ever since I went to work, I just haven't had time. With helping Ma and watching the kids. Once we get married, I just want some time. Just a little time to myself. So I can do watercolors. Or oils, maybe. Or maybe portraits in oil. I could paint a picture if you like.
Why not? Paint a big picture of you and we'll hang it in the outhouse. All of our friends will come around just to use the canisters so they can look at it.
The way you talk sometimes.
Grace, you want to paint pictures? Paint pictures. I ain't gonna stop.
You say that now, Tommy, but once we get married, change your tune.
Sure, I'll be whistling Dixie.
Wait till you come home some night all wore out. Some Christmas maybe, when everyone on your roots had 3 times the mail. And maybe some dog took after you. And some old lady kept you waiting on her stoop telling you all about her grandkids. And you didn't have the heart to tell her you couldn't talk. I know you. So you come home all cranky and late besides, hungry, wanting your dinner. And there I am, with my easel set up in the kitchen and a drop cloth on the floor and my paints all over the table. And your dinner nowhere in sight. What would you say then?
Better be a picture of me or picture.
I know what you'd say. Where's my dinner? That's what you'd say. Where's my dinner?
Well, sure. But I'd still admire the painting. I just want to look at it on a full stomach is all. So how'd I do? Choose the right wallpaper?
I don't know. Maybe I'll go look at stripes.
Stripes? Polka dots? I don't care, Grace. Let's just get married. You're plenty old enough. Tell your mom we ain't made no more. We'll just run off.
We're not running off, Tommy. We're gonna do it right. A nice church wedding with flowers and music. And then a week at the seashore. Just us. And after that, we'll get set up in our own place. You'll see. It'll be worth the wait.
Your mouth right here?
Yeah. The dentist wants to pull another tooth in the back.
Well, what's a tooth?
Hazel Kuzer. Any connection to the others?
Only by virtue of employment.
Except she's got a good lawyer.
Knows how to write a good letter anyway. That lawyer.
And she no longer works here?
She left 6 months ago.
This makes 4 now.
3.
4 if you count the magic girl.
I wouldn't include her.
She worked here.
She also worked other places. And what she died from, you couldn't pick up here. Or at least I don't think you can.
It's not funny, Charlie. Besides, that's just idle talk.
In my experience, there's usually something to the idle talk. When it comes to girls like that, anyway.
From a large family, wasn't she?
Italians. The conditions they live in. 10, 12 people in 3 rooms. It's no wonder they don't die of one infection or another.
3 then. And how many dead?
Only Miss Magic, but I haven't heard from her people.
It's too late for them anyways. The statute of limitations is 2 years. But Miss Kuzer is another story. She's in a position to make some trouble now.
And all the time I've been here, no one has so much as slipped on the floor, and now this?
We're talking about 4 girls here. Out of how many hundreds we've employed?
600, 700 over the years.
Some of them were sick when they got here. One girl you hired was a complete cripple. She couldn't make it up the stairs. Her father carried her up to the studio every morning.
It didn't make any difference to me how she got up those stairs. She was a fast worker and a very sweet little girl.
She was in poor health.
She needed the work.
Arthur, Charlie.
And not just for the money. To feel productive. To have a purpose. That's what work does, Charlie. It gives us a purpose. I don't see any reason why we should stop hiring girls like that.
When they get sick and try to blame us for it, you might want to reconsider that policy.
Let's see what Dr. Drinker has to say.
Dr. Drinker?
Some professor from the Harvard School of Industrial Hygiene.
She chairs the department, and she's agreed to take a look at our operations.
Don't you think we're jumping the gun a bit here, hiring her?
We have had 6 girls quit this week, and Miss McNeil tells me there could be more.
Girls come and go all the time.
It's never been like this. These girls are terrified. We've got to do something to calm them.
And letting a drinker examine them? That sounds to me like a recipe for mass hysteria.
We'll tell them it's a routine physical. Edward?
Companies give physicals all the time.
Then Drinker will start next month.
In the meantime, I recommend we make an offer to Miss Kuzer.
Settle.
There's no proof her problems are connecting us.
If she sues, believe me, you won't like the publicity it brings, and neither will your investors.
You think it'll affect the stock offering?
Don't you?
Wonderful. We'll open at 30 and close at 10.
Or not open at all.
But if we give this girl something, that'll keep her quiet?
It would be a condition of the settlement.
Maybe we better do it.
Suppose that lawyer has a racket going. He finds sick girls and talks them into making suits. Then we reward him for his larceny.
Unless Miss Kusa genuinely believes she got sick here.
It could be like Charlie said. She comes from a large immigrant family, not well educated, not a lot of resources.
A few $100 can make a big difference to a girl like that.
Certainly. Pay a few doctors' bills, buy some medicine. From the sound of that letter, I don't think the girl has long to live anyways.
So, it would be a gesture of decency then.
Exactly.
What do you think we should offer?
March 24th, 1924. Jackie Youngwood reporting for the Newark Ledger.
Nancy Jane Harlan for the New York Graphic, the New York Graphic's only girl reporter.
Could radium water pose a cure for crippling arthritis? Scientific studies suggest a connection.
Dateline, Orange, New Jersey. Radium water products offer a miracle cure for crippling arthritis.
Some patients reported a significant abatement in their symptoms.
Mrs. Jeremy Michaels of the Bronx tells how radium waters transformed her life.
My pain got so bad, I could hardly bend over.
While others reported only mild relief.
This poor, brave woman could not even bend down to kiss her little ones goodnight.
And I got 3. Let me tell you, they are a handful.
Dr. Harrison Martland, Chief Medical Examiner for Essex County, commented on the study.
Preliminary at best.
Your recommendations, Dr. Martland.
I advise further study.
Then Mrs. Michaels tried Radathor.
They said it would help my rheumatism. So, I drank a bottle a day for a month. Wasn't cheap, but I was desperate.
The test sample is questionably small.
Well, first off, it felt like I'd been hit by a bolt of lightning. It was that powerful. Now I drink a bottle a week just to maintain my health. I hang laundry and scrub the kitchen floor, same way I've always done.
Dr. William J. A. Bailey of Orange, inventor of Radathor, reports strong demand for his product.
Dr. William Bailey of Orange announces sales of Radathor exceed 100,000 cases worldwide.
Radioactivity is the most remarkable agent in medical science. I drink Radathor myself, and I can vouch for its powers.
A bottle a day?
At $1 a bottle, worth every penny.
Yes, indeed. I myself was a picture of lethargy before I discovered the amazing, vitalizing qualities of radium water. Now look at me. I am nearly 50 years old, yet I have the energy of a man in his 30s.
You rather look like a man in his 30s?
Well, thanks.
A testament to the tonic's potency.
Or to the seller's creativity.
Radathor is perpetual sunshine.
And a perpetual money machine for its inventor.
Is there no end to what science can do?
Maybe we should have made an appointment.
Don't need no appointment for this.
But it's a busy place, Catherine. If you don't have an appointment, maybe you should make one.
I shouldn't need no appointment for this.
I'm sorry. I didn't find anything under...
No, it's under Rudolph.
Rudolph?
The girl I'm asking about, Irene Rudolph.
Did she file the complaint?
No, the dentist did.
The dentist?
Dr. Neff, Irene's dentist. He said she might have fussy job and he was going to complain to the health department about it, but when I asked him, he said he hadn't heard nothing, and it's been more than 6 months now.
Flossy jaw, you say?
Yes.
Catherine, it could have been like your doctor said, a blood infection.
Yeah, but what gave it to her? That's the thing. What was it from?
From dirt. You get infections from dirt.
From dirt. Her face puffed up like a pumpkin. Her jaw rotted so bad she couldn't eat nothing. You think you get something like that from a little dirt. You get it from phosphorus. They're telling everybody it's radium in that paint when it's really phosphorus that makes it glow.
Honestly, Catherine, you can't really believe that.
You saw her, Grace.
Catherine, if it was like it said, they'd never let you work up there in the first place.
Sure, they'd have shut the place down.
Shut it down? Who? Who's gonna shut it down?
I don't know. The county?
Honestly, Grace, you are such a ninny.
Now come on.
Well, how are they gonna shut it down if they don't know about it? Ever think of that?
Hey,
It's okay, Tony.
she got no business talking to you like that.
She's just upset.
Upset? She's gone around the bend. She probably thinks they're dumping arsenic in the drinking water. Next, it'll be they're kidnapping babies and using them to stoke the furnace.
Go ahead and laugh. You won't be laughing so hard when it's you coming in here 6 months from now asking after Grace.
For crying out loud.
Catherine, it's just a toothache.
Yeah? That's how it started for Irene. Just a toothache. You wait, Grace. You wait. You wake up one morning, your gums hurt so bad, you won't be able to open your mouth. So weak and sick, you won't be able to stand up. The pain's so bad, you won't be able to sleep. And your face so swollen, you won't be able to stand
I
beside
said
yourself.
stop it! Grace is fine. Right, Gracie?
Irene Rudolph?
That's it.
And she worked at the Radium plant?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing.
What?
The company is in full compliance with state health and labor regulations. They ordered an analysis of the missing Miss. Really?
Who is Miss Young?
She's the health officer. Miss.
Paint is a harmless compound of radium and zinc?
As I was saying, the analysis shows there's no phosphorus in the paint. There's no phosphorus anywhere in the plant.
There. You see, Catherine?
Miss Young toured the plant herself. She found nothing amiss. I'm sorry.
Well, guess we can get some lunch then.
I'm gonna file another complaint.
They already did an investigation.
I want to file another complaint.
Mother.
Catherine, these folks are awful busy here.
I want to file another complaint.
I just don't see what good this is gonna do. To make such a fuss this way.
Grace. 3 surgeries, and they wanted to cut her again. She finally said no. She knew. What was left of her jaw rotted so bad. The smell was terrible. And Grace, the worst of it is, I couldn't look at her. Irene was so afraid of being alone. But I left her alone. When she died, it was the middle of the night, and no one was with her.
I'm sorry. Can we have another form? My friend would like to file another complaint.
Another complaint. Is the girl still sick?
No. She died.
Wait right here.
Can you? Do you see your grandfather?
No, but I see the schoolhouse.
You think this is funny?
She's enjoying herself.
Harriet!
Tell you what, if she is no one to shout to, she won't shout.
They can hear her all over the neighborhood.
Can they?
When she comes down, I want you to speak with her.
She's 9 years old, Diane.
I'm trying to raise a daughter, not a son.
Well, time is on your side. In another year or two, she'll lose all interest in trees and develop a fascination with boys.
That's supposed to scare me.
And when that time comes, you'll be frantic because she no longer wants to climb trees.
What's this?
Something to give you vitality.
You think I need vitality?
That's what it says in the bottle.
Is it pure?
We're your supplier. Want to try it?
If it'll give me vitality, how could I refuse? Your father came by to see me today.
Another hard luck case.
4 children at home, all under the age of 6.
Let me guess. Wife in the hospital with cancer.
Yes.
And the husband's been let off from, let's see, the brickyard.
Yes.
Through no fault of his own.
How did you know?
Dad came by to see me yesterday. It's never enough of him just to have ordinary ambitions. You have to have a mission in life.
And you do.
No, I have a business plan.
You can't tell me you wouldn't help this man if you could.
If I could, but I can't give him a job that doesn't exist.
What about Dan Lehman?
Dan?
Maybe he could use some help.
In the laboratory? Dan needs trained technicians, not a bricklayer. Why don't you send him to Mrs. Middleton? Don't you women have a social club for things like this?
You mean the Women's Club Service Committee?
Right.
Yes, the club takes an interest in such cases, but we're not in women's service either, which is why I thought maybe you could help us.
Well, you do love getting married to the company president.
It has its advantages.
Ever think of trading it in?
Do you?
I got my shoes shined this morning, and while I sat there and watched the boy work, I thought, this is quite an enterprise. The work walks in, the work walks out. No inventory, no warehouse, no health inspectors, no stock price.
And you trade it all in for your own shoe shine stand?
If your headache's that way.
So you're in one of those moods again. What is it this time? It can't be the stock market. It went up today.
Now you're reading the financial pages?
I have to entertain myself somehow. So what happened today? You're being very strange.
Am I? I'm sorry.
You can tell me, you know?
Nothing to tell, really. This is going to be our best year ever.
So it's the prospect of success that you find so disheartening.
I'll get my checkbook.
What for?
Your bricklayer.
Artie, he needs a job, not charity. What is it your father always says? A working man needs to work.
It wears him the soul not to work. Well, if it's a matter of his soul, that's different. All right. I'll have him talk to Dan.
Artie.
But I make no promises, Diane.
No promise.
To your health.
How long you had this drainage?
A week or two. Had some off with Dr. Mel.
Anything else bothering you?
My back hurts some too.
You're back now. You seen your regular doctor?
He says it's nerves.
Nerves?
About my wedding and all.
This ain't no case of nerves. Hope you told him that.
What do you think?
Think you better schedule that surgery.
Couldn't we put it off a little until after my wedding?
You don't have that surgery, you won't have the wedding.
What?
Miss Fryer, I want you to listen to me. Your jawbone is decaying. That's the black pus oozing out of your gums. It's the bone itself.
That's impossible.
To Mr. Arthur Reeder, U.S. Radium Corporation, from Dr. Drinker, Harvard University. Enclosed is our report.
Finally.
We believe the trouble in your plant is caused by radium.
Radium?
It can't be as bad as all that.
This can't be.
Put off the surgery and you can develop a septic condition. It can be fatal.
What changes in your employees can be explained on no other grounds?
Everything I've got, I saved for my wedding.
Photographic films carried by employees show heavy fogging, and we suspect high levels of gamma radiation in the plant.
Well, I got a suggestion for you. Go to the radium plant and explain your situation.
Go to the company.
We realize no proof can be offered at present.
Once they see what kind of shape you're in,
This is impossible.
they gotta feel obligated to help you out.
But due to the material and literature,
It's a mistake.
and the facts disclosed by our investigation.
Honestly, I don't see how they could refuse.
We recommend you take immediate and drastic remedial action.
Look, if you want, I'll write to them for you. They could work through me. Just pay my bills directly.
You think they do that?
Charlie!
They got a moral obligation, don't you think?
I guess so.
We'll do it now. I'll get some paper.
She has to be wrong, that's all. She's wrong. Charlie! Charlie. She has to be wrong.
She must have overlooked something.
If we're suffering from a new ailment caused by the radium, it should occur generally throughout the plant.
One would expect.
Several hundred milligrams of radium are in solution at all times in the big vats. Several hundreds in the ore, several hundred in crystallizing.
The entire backyard is filled with tailings.
Radium is present in good amounts all over the property.
If it is the radium, then the incidence of illness should be highest in the laboratory.
And no one there is sick.
Perhaps it's some combination of the radium with the zinc.
Or something peculiar to our plant alone.
Maybe some bacteria in the brushes.
It can't be the radium. There are dozens of application plants across the country, and none have ever reported anything like this.
The Department of Labor wants to see the report, Arthur.
Yes, I'm aware.
What are we going to do? How do we answer them? This tears us to pieces.
Do you want to see the report? We'll send them this.
One page?
The most important page.
Drinker will never stand for this.
Drinker works for us. This is a proprietary report. What we do with it is our business.
The Department of Labor, Arthur.
We just need a little time, Charlie. Just a little time.
They could shut us down for this.
Scientists. Government men. They have no idea what it takes to run a business. Well, it's a shocking that advertising was a dirty word. He laughed at the very idea of promotion. I can't tell you how many times I walked into that man's office and he turned a deaf ear to everything I told him. But Charlie, we showed him. We showed him. Look at us. We are the world's largest single supplier of radium. The largest in the world. You know what it took for us to get here. Do you think I'm just going to stand idly by and let our good name be dragged through the mud? Trust me, Charlie.
Oh, not at all, my dear.
I told the surgeon he was coming over here, so he gave me the results of my blood work.
Excellent.
And so?
I must say, Miss Fry, your blood looks better than mine.
It does?
That's what happens to an old man who smokes. Now tell me, what else seems to be troubling you?
My feet and my back mostly. I've had to wear a brace for a while.
I can see. And this happened before you left the company or after?
After I left. Dr. Neff says this all has to do with the radium plant. I know a girl from the plant who died from it. Irene Rudolph.
Oh yes, terrible thing. Vincent's angina.
What's that?
That's an ulcerated condition of the mouth, my dear.
From the radium?
No. An unfortunate and rare result of poor dental care. So let this be a lesson to you. Always brush your teeth.
There was something else in the papers about this. About other girls who got sick. The one girl I worked with for a while, she's in the hospital in New York and the doctors don't know what to do. They say they never see
Miss
anything.
Fryer, don't tell me you believe any of those stuff in the papers. Those stories are not scientific.
But Dr. Flynn...
Reporters are not scientific. They do not follow the scientific method. They write to sell, not to educate. The scientist isn't concerned with what sells. He's concerned with the truth. He undertakes years of painstaking studies to arrive at an understanding of intricate and natural processes that most people could not presume to comprehend. You will do well to listen to science and ignore all of the nonsense in the papers. As I can tell you right now, radium has nothing to do with ailing you.
It doesn't?
Not in the least.
Then what is ailing me?
Poor diet, Miss Fryer. Poor diet.
But Dr. Neff said
Dr.
that...
Neff is a dentist. not a physician. You have a vitamin deficiency. You must eat more fresh fruit.
Hard to do in the winter.
Raw meat as well. That'll help with the anemia. Raw liver particularly. Cook it if you must. Eat it at least twice a week, at a minimum. No, Miss Fryer. I'm a scientist. I'd like a purely scientific interest in the situation. By allowing me to examine you, you are helping me advance my own studies. Thank you. Call me anytime, day or night.
Okay, Dr. Flynn. Thank you.
Happy to be of service.
Dr. Frederick Flynn, PhD Physiology, Columbia University. PhD? That's not a real doctor!
My findings, Mr. Reader.
He's seen half a dozen girls who used to work at the plant. Word I hear, he's working for the company.
An objective evaluation, I trust.
My source of funding has no bearing on my research.
I let that fellow examine me.
I never examined her, per se. It wasn't a medical examination, per se.
Nevertheless, you were able to offer her some useful advice.
I did my best for her.
Every girl he sees is the same thing. Nothing wrong with you.
Your blood is better than mine, he says.
And how are you doing on the rest of the report?
The animal studies I've conducted show no adverse effect from the radium. The problem, as you suspected, is one of personal hygiene only.
I can't believe somebody would do that. Straight out lie to you like that.
Nothing surprises me.
It's just like you said, Catherine. People will say anything, do anything.
Except the right thing.
Well, we're gonna make up, Catherine. We're gonna make sure somebody hears about this.
I am most grateful, Dr. Flynn, but I am particularly grateful to hear that the young lady you examined is doing so much better.
I never examined her, no. I merely consulted with her.
All the same. She is doing much better, isn't that so?
From what I can see, Mr. Reader, she's on the road to recovery.
Excellent.
Here's my statement of fees and expenses.
Mr. Lee will draw you a check.
And so I leave you now with this one thought. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not have to accept injustice. We can use our powers as consumers to influence the practices of those who wish to profit from our patronage. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Wiley. And thanks to the New Jersey Consumers League for another job well done. This concludes our program for this evening. I don't think there's time for questions, but we hope you join us next door for some light refreshments.
Do you want anything?
Yeah, my throat's a little dry.
Can I help you, miss?
I'm here to see Miss Wiley.
You're not a member of the Women's Club.
No, but...
Are you a guest of a member?
No, ma'am, but Miss Wiley...
Then I'm sure Miss Wiley would be happy to see you during her regular business hours.
I'm not leaving till I see Miss Wiley.
It's all right, Mrs. Middleton. It's fine. You must be Miss Fryer.
Yes, Miss Young at the health department said I should see you. I know I should have stopped by your office, but I missed a lot of work lately and didn't want to miss anymore.
No need to apologize. I've been meaning to call on you myself. Please, sit down.
Me and Catherine wrote to the company about our troubles, but we never heard nothing. So then we went to see a couple lawyers, but they all said they can't do anything because it's been so long since we left the radium plant. Something about the law wouldn't allow it.
The statute of limitations.
Right. And one lawyer said he would try to sue anyhow, only he wants $1,000 up front. I already spent everything I have on dentists and doctors and hospitals, and I still don't know what's wrong exactly. And Tom, that's my fella. He wants to get married anyhow, but I just wonder, what good would I do him like this? Miss Wiley, if I could just get some compensation, then I would be able to settle my debts and wouldn't feel like I was saddling Tom with such a burden. Sorry to rattle on at you about these things. I'm just so tired of being pushed around.
I don't blame you.
Miss Young said the Consumers League has, what did she say, clout?
I'd certainly like to think so. We've had our share of successes.
Can you help us then?
Tell me, Miss Fryer, just how far are you willing to go with this?
Ma'am?
Suppose I do find a lawyer willing to take your case. Someone willing to take it on a contingency. You wouldn't have to pay them unless you won. Would you be willing to sue?
I want my compensation.
Of course you do. Now suppose the company says, here's some money for you, Miss Fryer, only you were to say nothing about you got sick. You were to say nothing about what we've agreed on.
Keep it quiet, you mean?
Yes.
That don't seem right.
It isn't right, but that's what they'll do. They will try to buy your silence, Miss Fryer. Is it for sale?
No, ma'am, it isn't.
Good.
So can you help us then?
I think I can help you, if you're willing to take some chances.
Chances?
Miss Fryer, if you could put aside your own need, just for a moment, we can put a stop to that company. We can stop them dead in their tracks.
What do I have to do?
We start by putting you on page 1.
Page 1? You wanted to speak to the newspaper.
Not just one newspaper, many, many newspapers.
Is that really necessary? All we want is for Grace to get her compensation.
Tommy, let her finish.
I understand your concern, but this company has already proven it's willing to go to extremes to protect itself. No, I'm afraid we'll have to hit them where it matters most. Their public image. When every newspaper in America tells your story, how you were sorely treated, how you were sore and hurting, and how the company denied all responsibility. Believe me, Miss Fryer, when that happens, Arthur Reeder will come to the table with his hat in his hands.
All right, Miss Wiley.
I know it's a little frightening.
It's okay. Right now I'm more angry than I am scared.
Good. You hold on to that anger, Miss Fryer. You're going to need it. Only, be sure no one else sees it.
Ma'am?
Public sympathy, Miss Fryer. That is our strongest weapon. And the public does not have much sympathy for an angry woman.